Hi, this is Brian Massard of the Reminisce Angus Beef, and we've got a questionnaire here from a lot of people on why you should buy beef from us. And it's pretty important question. Every rancher out there says, "Well, we raise the best stuff." Well, how do you know? Everybody says we raise the best stuff. We raise the best stuff, and we can tell you it's the best stuff, and we compete on a world level, an international level. We discovered a flavor gene through one bloodline in 1992, and we have stuck with it. And we have used all kinds. We've used 30 some, possibly 40 some other bloodlines in the last 30 years. And when you get away from that, it tastes like your average. All beef is good. We love beef. We're not discounting that at all. But there's a difference between average beef, average Angus beef that's got higher marbling, and Reminisce Angus. The Steve Huff that runs Prairie Harvest sells our beef to some of the highest end restaurants, over 50 restaurants in the Rocky Mountains. And there's a measurable difference in Reminisce Angus beef, and it's in the flavor, it's in the fat. And it all goes back to one sire that we keep in all of our bloodlines. It's better than Wagyu. It is much better than Piedmontese. Piedmontese is very tender. Wagyu is tender and it has a lot of marbling, but listen to the professional chefs. Reminisce Angus beef has a unique flavor that you will not forget. Once you have tried it, you won't forget it. You'll understand why our jerky is so good, why our beef sticks, why people are going crazy over these byproducts, because it's fantastic. We get so many comments on our burger and our stew meat and our roast. People don't even talk about our steaks anymore because the rest of the stuff is so good. That's what they talk about. And that's that one sire that we have held on to that DNA. We make sure it's in every animal so that it tastes good, it's consistent. You can buy from us year round, every month. It's all going to be the same. You can go look at the Google reviews. You can look at all the videos on YouTube, and we would ask that you would, if you like Reminisce Angus beef, like it, subscribe to it, share it with other people, and share this good stuff. This is Reminisce Angus beef is equivalent to buying Wagyu without paying through the nose for it. You can afford Reminisce Angus beef. We're shipping it to your door. It's guaranteed. It costs a lot of money to get it shipped. It costs a lot of money to keep a year-round supply of that high quality and consistent beef going to your door. And we do that. Believe me, it takes a lot. But I want to go over some other reasons beside that. That's reason number one. It's the best beef you can buy. We'll go up against anybody in the world on that. We'll go to the mat with that one. Second reason is you're supporting us. So when you buy direct online, whether it's us or any other Angus, or I shouldn't say Angus, any other direct to farm, direct to ranch, when you're buying meat from us to you, you're preserving small communities. You're not only just preserving our livelihood, we're very grateful for that, but the communities that you're holding together with your purchase, because it bypasses the retail markup. They're guaranteed 30 to 40% on every product. The distributor gets his 25% on every product. The processors and all the people that haul it and everybody in line is guaranteed their margin. A rancher is never guaranteed a margin, ever. We're at the risk of weather. We're at the risk of the market, every animal all year long. And so when we're selling off into the main chain that comes up in the four big packers, everybody talks about these huge global packers, and it's true. When you're selling to them, everybody gets their margin and we get what's left. And so that's reason number two to buy direct, is you're preserving our livelihood. If you're preserving our livelihood, we keep more hired people on our ranches. We keep more hired people on our ranches. Guess what? Our community has more people spending money in our communities. And our cattle come from several different communities. So we're helping keep small communities vibrant and thriving by selling direct to you. And so that's reason number two. Reason number three, when you buy beef in a grocery store, of course, 95% of all the meat sold in the USA is from the USA. Most of the stuff they import is frozen trim. They mix it up. All your fast food stores, with the exception of McDonald's, that's where all that most all of that imported meat goes into the fast food restaurants, okay? Um, but with that said, the four big packers, and anybody can look it up. You can look it up. I looked it up myself. They're all heavily invested in a plant-based protein burger. They're all heavily invested in lab-grown meats. They don't care if they're selling you beef, chicken, fish, um, pork, a plant-based protein, a lab-grown protein. They just want to sell you something. They don't care if you're healthy. They don't care if you like it. They don't care if you even come back. If they convince the whole world to go to plant-based protein, they don't care if they're buying cows or processing cows or drying up communities. They'll go invest in greenhouses. They don't need us out on the ground. So that's a huge reason to buy direct from a rancher. Is buy from somebody that's out there on the ground. Buy from somebody who's preserving the West. And this is one of my favorite things is we are preserving the West. And I say that because we're from Montana. Everybody knows the thing is Montana's the last great place, the last best place. Well, everybody wants to move to Montana and take that. Well, guess what happens? That turns into subdivisions and septic tanks. So all the wildlife, all the birds, all the fish, the aquatic life, the bugs, the insects, the rodents, the small animals, all of these things right now are protected with open space from us. We live out on the land. It takes a lot of land to raise cows out in Montana. We live there. We protect wildlife. We protect habitat. We preserve that. Our cows run around with all of those things there. We see all kinds of wildlife, everything, every day when we're out there on the ranch. And so you're preserving the West. So when you're buying from us, you're protecting small business. You're protecting small ranches across Montana. You're protecting communities. You're helping preserve and protect one of the most beautiful places on the face of the earth. And so that's another huge reason. Here's another one for you. I think we're up to number 4. We test. I told you how good it is. This is way better than Wagyu, Reminiscent Angus beef. If you go to Whole Foods and you buy all natural beef, those ranchers those cattle have never had a hormone. They've never had antibiotics if they're lucky. And most cattle don't have antibiotics. Very few do, okay? But it's very important when we have a sick animal, it's our job to take care of them. We have to respect that animal. If they have a sore foot, if they have a sore eye, if they get pneumonia, which we call pneumonia in the ranching business, that's the flu in humans. It can be a cold, it can be bronchitis, pharyngitis, an ear infection, or whatever. In the ranching world, the egg world, the flu and a cold is all wrapped up in what we call pneumonia. That cow's got pneumonia. We have several different treatments. We can make it better, and it's our responsibility. Because we're under a lot of pressure for, a lot of people want to make sure we're taking care of our cattle, and of course we're taking care of our cattle. We wouldn't have beef to sell if we didn't respect and take care of our cattle. It's very important to us. Very important while they're here. We keep track of how they do and what kind of mothers they are and how good of calves they raise, and we have to provide them with daily nutrition, vitamins and minerals every single day. We have to give them enough feed. They have to have healthy grass, healthy feed in the winter. Those of you who think all grass-fed cattle just are out eating grass all year round, well, in Montana and the western states, it's not true. When it's under a foot of snow, you got to feed them hay, which is grass, and we feed them grain and other things. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's another very good reason to buy Reminiscent Angus beef, to hold on this number 4 idea is we test our meat after it's in the process, after it's in the packing house. We pull samples out and send them. There's only a couple labs in the United States, and we make sure there's no glyphosate residue. There is none in our beef, and we test for it. We just want to make sure that we're not part of the problem. And our cows eat corn, but the cows have a body that is able to metabolize that. And 99% of all ranching, they can't afford to do what we're doing. They're not willing to take the risk. We've taken huge risks to do this. So most all beef goes through the food chain. They eat a lot of the corn that's raised on this monocrop. It's all sprayed with Roundup. And we were kind of spooked. We didn't want to be part of the problem, so we test for glyphosate. It's non-detectable.